Hey, Bikaholics and listeners alike, the show is still going strong because of a lot of hard work and your support, of course. Thanks to all those loyal listeners and true friends of the show that have supported us or are supporting us. For less than a coffee a month, you can help support us too and put a little fuel in the law-abiding biker gas tank to make sure this show keeps moving on down the road. So, calling all law-abiding bikers, head over to our Patreon page and take action today. You can do so at lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Oh, did I mention there's benefits too? From all your friends at lawabidingbiker.com, we appreciate each and every one of you. God bless and ride safe. What do you think about a little Irish music? A little Irish music. What do you think about that, Robbie?
It's okay, but Maddie's not here.
Bug Slide. That's right, guys. Absolutely the best wireless motorcycle cleaner on the market. Bug Slide, tried and tested by the Law-Abiding Biker crew. That's right, Russell.
It's great stuff.
It's our number one go-to waterless cleaner. Bug Slide clean, shines, degreases while removing bugs and other surface contaminants with ease. That's right, Rob. Use it on your motorcycle, car, boat, your 18-wheeler.
There you go.
And more. Oh, yeah. Never need to wax again, guys. That's my favorite thing about it. The release agent in Bug Slide contains a UV filter for added protection. It's free of abrasives, safe on all non-porous surfaces. Yes, it's even safe on your Hardy denim paint. Because I tested it. Well, our 2011 or 2006 Night Train was denim paint. Pewter. Tested on that. My 2011 had black denim paint, guys. We believe in it so much we carry it in stock right in the Law-Abiding Biker store. Anytime, head to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Big Daddy Kane has it ready to ship direct to you right now. And, Robbie, while they're over there, they should not forget to check out Bike Bright.
It cleans all the cracks and crevices of your bike and keeps them nice and tidy.
Because we don't like dirty cracks and crevices.
We do not.
It's our wet wash solution. Bike Bright, guys. Check it out. It's always nice to have just a little Irish music. What do you think about that? Kind of gets you in the mood. What do you think? What do you think, Russell?
That does.
It does. Russell likes this song.
Oh, yeah.
Feel it. That is right.
Definitely.
Welcome back, you freaking Bikaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
99%.
He was on it. He was on it.
I was pointing at him. I was getting him primed. He's going like this. What's behind me? He's looking behind him.
I was like, what the hell's he pointing at?
I saw him. I saw him and I was like, what are you doing over there, dude? That was awesome. Way to start the episode. That's right. Love it, guys. You know, I just want to mention that if you're listening to this podcast, whether you like it or not, you are part of what we call the Biker Revolution. That's right, guys. We do have one question before we get started here. What are you waiting for, Bikaholics?
Get on your bike and ride.
Yeah, mount up. Let Russell Roberts, patron Russell Roberts, take you on another wild-ass ride. That's right, Ryan Erlacher here, your host of the Law-Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech
redneck.
In stereo. That's right. Russell Roberts, you heard right there. And we have his very, he didn't know he was going to have his very own song, but he does. Russell Roberts. Anytime he's on the podcast from here on out, this is his song, dude.
Oh, my God.
You don't get to choose your song, do you? Kind of like choosing a nickname.
Yep.
Not at all.
You don't get to choose it.
I'm stuck with it.
That's right. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, the one with the ACL tear, Speedy Gonzalez, LawDog.
Not real speedy these days.
He's hobbling around everywhere right now.
The crutch is slowing me down.
But he can still eat like a machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just did.
Because he just did. We just chowed down some pizza on the, let's call it the Law-Abiding Biker porch patio, backyard patio. Russell Roberts here in the studio. Russell, welcome back for your second episode at the Law-Abiding Biker Podcast. Since you were here, we're batch processing.
Yeah, thanks.
Did you get enough to eat?
I did. I'm full.
Sorry, that was kind of a impromptu meal. Usually I like to at least barbecue a nice steak for you.
It was good.
You know?
We had a great lunch today, so
yeah.
this was good.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
We did have a great lunch. I like to barbecue when I can. Fix you a big old steak or something, but maybe next time.
Next time.
We were a little crunched for time as usual.
Yep.
Robbie's in the studio. Russell's in the studio. We got a great main topic for you guys today. We're going to do a few announcements. We still have some other things we want to tell you about, but let me find them here. Oh, right there. GoPro discussion is what it's going to be about today, guys. All about GoPros, specifically when using with motorcycles. Now, Rob is in the studio and usually doesn't have too much intelligent to say, and he's not going to have anything intelligent to say today either.
Not at all.
But the cool thing about Rob, the cool thing that Rob's going to do today is he doesn't have a GoPro.
I'm going to play the village idiot.
Correct. There you go. I love it, dude.
Well, I'm wanting to get one. So Russ has been staying at my house for a couple of days, so I'm asking him tons of questions.
Nice.
So it works out perfect. I'll ask him here.
Yes,
He'll have to answer everything twice.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
we might think of some more things, Yeah,
right. He will. He'll ask, and that's a cool thing. All jokes aside, Rob's going to ask from the level of what many of you may be asking out there who are avid motorcyclists and want to or see motorcycle type footage. And we have Russell, who's very tech savvy. Russell Roberts, a patron nonetheless, guys. That's right. Second patron in the studio in the history of Law Abiding Biker Media. He got a tour, a ride today, and all that. You probably heard it on our previous episode. We talked all about that, so make sure you check that out. But he knows a lot of tech, and we've talked a lot of tech while he's been here, and more than just GoPro, but he even knew what mixer I was using, what microphones I was using, which was really cool. But he knows he's a photographer, which we'll talk a little bit about on the side, and a very good photographer at that. I've seen some of his work, but he also is into videography and uses our particular biker gripper GoPro mounts, which will bring up some mounting positions and everything in between. And Rob's gonna field some of the basic questions, people that don't know what to buy, and we'll even give some alternatives to GoPro as we go along here, because there are many people in that field trying to make different action cams, and I'll give my opinions on GoPro compared to others, and I'm sure Russell will too on that, but that's going to be the main topic. And so now, speaking of patron members, you've probably seen this guy in the private group.
I have.
You have? Well, here you go. So I just want to give him a shout out. He is a patron member and a supporter of Law Abiding Biker podcast and media. He's heavily involved in the private Facebook group.
Yep.
And that's where Russell obviously never met face to face.
Haven't met him.
No.
But we've conversed.
You have.
Yeah.
Okay. Back and forth. Very cool. Very cool. And Perry Churchill, we're going to give a shout out. He sent me a bunch of barbecue sauce. Now, it was good too.
It was.
I'm just going to tell you straight up.
It is.
I'm not
good.
just saying that because he's a patron. It was good.
I got to get some.
It is. And he has a website. Let me pull up my notes here and we'll look at this. So he sent me this, and this is actually his company, and it's called Kickstart Barbecue Sauce.
That's an awesome card, Dan.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
And it's very motorcycle related.
Yes, indeed.
Got the wings, so to speak. Kickstart Barbecue Sauce logo here. It says start your barbecue with Kickstarter Barbecue Sauce. He is out of Vallejo, California. We love our Californians. We have so many supporters down there. And you can go to Kickstarter. You can email him anytime at kickstarterbarbecue@gmail.com. And they have a website too.
Kickstart barbecue, not Kickstarter.
Oh, did I say Kickstarter? Sorry. My bad. Thanks for correcting me. I'll kickstartbarbecuesauce.com. That's kickstartbarbecuesauce.com. And we just want to give him a shout out that, and the nice thing about this is he gives 5% of all profits to help military organizations.
And that's awesome.
Isn't that unbelievable?
That's really good.
And so, you're not only getting a great barbecue sauce, he's a biker, he's a patron member, he's a law-abiding biker. Not only that, it's great tasting. He sent me 4 different bottles. I haven't used it all. There's one really spicy one, I will tell you that. And it is spicy.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It'll
get me some.
The gift that keeps on giving. It's that. Yeah. Yeah. But 5% of all profits to help military organizations.
And that is awesome.
It is. And we love our military personnel and veterans. Again, kickstartbarbecuesauce.com. And thank you, Perry, for sending that sauce up right here to me and the wife and the kids. And we really, really enjoyed it. So welcome, Russell, back to the podcast. And I know you're chomping at the bit because Rob was asking all kinds of questions off the mic.
Yes, he was.
We kind of had to tell him to stop, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We're like, save
it's
it.
like, man, save your questions.
So why don't you give I know the last episode we gave a little bit of background, on your photography, but why don't you give just a brief about that to give some of your background, and then we'll open it up to kind of go from photography to how your video experience.
In a quick way, I mean, just explaining. I started into photography when my kids started coming around. 92 was when my first was born, so I got into SLRs back then in film days, and it's just evolved over the years, and I've gotten into digital. And then as my kids got more active in other things, sports and band and all these activities, I got more involved in capturing all of that,
right,
and to a high degree, high quality, if you want to put it that way, where I was getting the camera gear that would get me capture the emotion of those things that were going on the field. And then it evolved into high school football, and then it evolved into NFL football. So I do a lot of Titans games.
Yeah.
And
Tennessee Titans.
That's a football, right?
Oh, sorry. I thought that was a soccer team.
Wait a minute. Yeah. So, we're not going to talk about Hawks here. So
we might. We'll figure out how to get it in there.
So then,
right back at you, Robbie.
With the when my kids were in band, well, they're still in band. My youngest is still in high school. I evolved into video. I was like, man, I need to capture more than that. And GoPros came around, and I was like, I got to get one of those. And then I got another one, and then I got more. And so I started mounting those on different instruments and started putting videos together for the band. And it's mainly for memories. And then of course I got into motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I got my first Harley.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I got to figure out ways to mount these things. And then that evolved. And so, now I'm up to 9 GoPros I got. And
that's awesome, man.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah. And so
Law Abiding Biker Media has one. Actually, we have 2 because I borrow lurches.
You used to have 2.
I used to have. Well, no, I had one. It got stolen. Then I had 0 except lurches.
I remember when they got stolen.
Yeah.
And Sturgis.
And then, then I got this one now, and then I borrow lurches. I do really need a second one.
But what's going on with them? When you got a 100-piece band, and it's either marching on the field or in the concert hall.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get angles. And then of course I'm splicing and putting this all together in Premiere. But
that's Adobe Premiere for those that don't know out there. Yeah. Great editing software.
Yes, it is.
Does that cost money?
It does.
It does.
How much
you have
is
to buy the? Well, it's $600 a year for the Adobe Premiere Suite.
Okay.
That gives you everything. It gives you Photoshop, Adobe. It gives you
all the Adobe software.
So you can use it for more than just GoPro stuff.
Yeah, we use Adobe Audition to edit our audio for this podcast.
Audio is great.
Yeah.
That's a great audio.
Because I have no idea. That's why I'm asking.
Well,
and I use it for my photography stuff because I'm using Lightroom and Photoshop.
Yes,
that's
very
my
popular.
organizer and editor. And it was just a no-brainer. And also because I pump out a lot of this stuff from DVDs, because there's a lot of band parents that still will not, they want stuff on DVD.
Oh God, please
yes,
no.
there is.
And I hate DVD.
But no, it's a good fundraiser for our band kids.
As opposed to streaming like we lab videos. You just buy them and then you stream them like a YouTube video. You don't wait for no damn DVD.
But I put them up on YouTube also. But I also,
okay.
We do a fundraiser for our band kids. So I'm using Adobe Encore for the DVD production. And we sell those at the end of the year, and just about every parent wants to buy those. So, all that, I just donate all that money to the band fund. So the creative suite is it's
everything.
I don't even use 20% of
no, apps, most people don't.
But
it's everything.
So that's how I got into the GoPros, was with the band kids. And then, like I said, when I bought my first bike, well, my only bike so far. Yeah, so far. And I see so many of these cool videos. I can make something.
Yeah. So
I go through, and we'll get into it, but, mounts and different things. So I had a lot of problems trying to get good quality video off of a Harley.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's how it's evolved. But no, I didn't buy all these GoPros for the bike. It was for other purposes.
Yeah, and that's how kind of in the private patron member, Facebook group is how we, and I met Russell in Sturgis for the patron meetup last year in 2006 or 15. And we got talking tech, and I realized this guy definitely is high speed on tech. And somebody we
had
can
a
actually
good
have
conversation out there on the driveway.
We could probably spend the next week together and never talk enough tech and gear.
We wouldn't get finished.
Nerd alert.
Oh, hey.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. We are kind of nerdy, aren't we?
We are nerdy, and I don't care. I'll geek out on gear and tech all day. I don't get to do it on this podcast a lot because I'm talking to morons like Rob.
That's true.
And these guys are like, whatever.
What? That goes right over.
If you lived around here, we'd start a tech podcast.
Hey,
we would, wouldn't we?
We would.
We're going to go back to this Adobe thing, but so don't.
We will.
Okay, we'll come back.
I have a note about editing software because
perfect. Because I'm not spending.
There's so many ways.
You don't need that.
No, you don't.
And we'll discuss that. That's good.
There's easier ways.
There's free ways.
Yeah,
perfect.
Not free ways like free ways, but there's free ways.
Yeah, there's ways that won't cost you.
Correct. And we'll do what most bikers
guys
need.
will use. Yeah.
All right. So with that said, I had something here. Where did it go? Right there. You know what? Speaking of patrons, I'm pretty sure that this episode is sponsored by these very patrons. And since you're a patron, why don't you go ahead and thank these guys.
We got Kevin Miner of Anderson, Indiana. That's not too far from where I grew up. And Ronald Fish of Brick, New Jersey.
Thank you guys. We appreciate it so much. LawAbidingBiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Get signed up, guys. That's right. You can pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk. That's right. You can put a monthly cap on it. It helps put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank so we can keep this thing heading on down the road. There are benefits, guys, including that private Facebook group up to top tier patrons like Russell Roberts here, and you get access to all our premium videos up on request. We'll send you a link. You get it for free. All that kind of stuff. So with that said, let's move. We will talk about editing software. I'm making notes as we go here. And so we use a lot of cameras here at Law Abiding Biker Media. Prosumer video cameras, DSLRs. We use GoPros. I use iPhone 6s Plus. There's a lot of different ways, plus other stuff, but there's just a lot of different ways depending on your needs. Depends on what you want to do while you're riding your motorcycle. Of course, many of you, I get questions, and I need to do it. It's one of the videos I need to do. I cannot believe the amount of YouTube questions on my vlogs and the amount of emails I get on
I've seen
what
those
equipment
comments.
I want to use. Yeah. And I just need to do a video on it because I have to answer, and that's okay. Exactly my setup right now. You saw it today. Russell and Rob seen it because we ride, and I was filming you today. Mm-hmm. So you pretty much know but we will reveal my current setup for vlogging. If you don't know what vlogging is, we do that on our YouTube channel over at lawabidingbiker.com/YouTube. But you can see we have a lot of DIY videos, but I also do some vlogging. That's basically blogging, but it's a voice vlogging while I'm riding. And so a lot of you asked me questions on that, so I'll reveal my current setup on that. And I will eventually do a video on it and show you how I have my helmet set up and what I use to get audio into my GoPro and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to kind of be a free-for-all. And so if you're out there, I guess the foundation, and tell me if you want to start different, Russell, because you're going to run a lot of this show. I guess we should start by, let's assume that Bikaholics out there are listening and they want to get a GoPro like Rob, and they don't even know where to start. Let's, Rob, do you have any, why don't you ask your first question?
Russell's already answered this, but I'm going to ask it on the air.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to ask it,
it's already asked and answered. No,
go ahead, man.
I asked Russell, I said, hey, this is what I want my GoPro to do. I want to go out. I want to shoot a few videos.
Bedroom porn.
What's that?
Bedroom porn.
Midget porn.
Oh God. Some midgets again. I don't remember.
Oh man.
Here we go.
Just some biking. Just some. I want to be able to turn it on and go for an hour and not have to mess with it. Because
are you thinking about motorcycle? Is that what you're thinking about? Okay.
Yes. Because unlike Ryan, I'm not going to be turning stuff off and on. I don't know enough about the thing.
You just want to capture the ride,
right? And I'm probably not
going to scenery.
I'm not going to mic up and that crap. Where Ryan's giving audio while he's riding. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to just capture in the scenery, right? And then, if I go on vacation to a tropical place, my family loves to snorkel, so I'd like to have something that I could get
underwater
wet.
Is great.
And I don't want to. I know some of these things are going for $1,000 or more.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily need to spend that. So what's a good one is what I asked Russell.
An introductory one to go with is the Hero Session. And they're $199, $200. and they're small too, which is an advantage. I've got several of them because then they're not. There's more places you can place them in on a motorcycle, even especially on a motorcycle, because you can get different viewpoints. And I've done it, and I've had it to where it's got so much of the motorcycle in the video, and then the scenery's going by, and you can do this from below your saddlebag even, and capture the reflections off of your pipes. I've done that. You can, mount them in as they're smaller. There's some places like going under the saddlebag can be a little trickier with the full size GoPros. So with the Session, you can squeeze it in places.
Why don't you explain? Let's do this, and that's good info. So most people are familiar with the foundational GoPro, which is a Hero
4
Silver 4, which is mine. There's Hero Black, Hero 4 Black. That's what a lot of people think about when they think about GoPro. Now, you speak of the Session, which I have up on the screen there, Rob, so you can get a look at it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it until an hour ago.
So I have not, I haven't got one of these. Like I said, I need to buy, it's ridiculous that I have not. They are expensive, little pieces of equipment.
Yeah, they're $200.
Yeah, well, that one over there,
but it's an entry
$399.
GoPro.
Oh, the Session. So why don't you tell this, Russell? Why don't you tell the audience and Rob why would he go? What's the main differences between a Session and what most people, when we're saying GoPro over the mic, people are thinking of that over there on the table. They're thinking of a regular square,
silver rectangular,
and the
square.
Session's only about a year old. So why don't you tell about this and what the difference is?
The difference between them is there is differences. The money's not for nothing, but with the Session, you're getting like an introductory level, but it's got enough features for what Rob wants to do, and that's 1080p.
Okay, it doesn't do 2.7 4K.
No, it does
nothing
not.
like that. Okay, well, we're going to talk about
guys.
We're going to get into that. Yes. Yeah. So then, it does 1080p.
What did you just say?
It does.
I have no freaking clue what you
We're
just
going to talk about.
I have seen 1080p on things at the store.
Right.
But whatever numbers you threw out, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
It's just high def.
Yes.
And
okay.
It does 60 frames per second, which is what you want.
Right.
Now you can do
that's
30
FPS,
frames.
yes, 60
FPS
FPS
per second.
Oh yeah, those. Okay.
Yep, those. And then
we're going to make Russell break this down for the audience. FPS, frames per second, yes.
For what you're wanting to, be able to view on your laptop or, however, there's several ways to get it offloaded. But what you're wanting to do is be able to capture that ride, and then, usually right after we do something, we want to see it,
Yeah.
And then years later, you'll bring it up and you'll remember that. You want those memories too, especially if it's a group ride where you guys took off and went somewhere. What
else about it though?
The Session will accomplish that, and the price, it's a good entry. And then if you want,
does the Session? So here, let me jump in. So we're talking about the regular GoPro, which we're thinking about the audience, the big square,
silver looking,
right? Silver looking or black, whatever.
What everybody thinks of when they hear GoPro.
This Session is it looks like a little box. It's very little. Now, Russell, I'm just going to ask you questions. I know some of the answers, but I'm just going to ask you because I know the audience is thinking, do you have to have a case for the Session, or is it ready, waterproof ready?
That's a good point.
Okay.
I was scrambling my brain
it's
trying
hard
to come up with all this.
Yes,
but yeah, I don't have notes to go on, but that's the thing. The Session is already a waterproof case.
Doesn't need anything. You buy it for $199. You can take it down to 33
battery.
feet.
It will record for an hour and a half at least, on a full charge.
That's good. Because my regular GoPro does not last that long. I had that problem today when we had to pull over.
That far?
Nope.
So hang on real quick. So you pulled over. Did you change the battery?
I did.
That's what he was doing.
Can you change the battery in the Session?
No.
Okay, so it's
good
internal.
question.
Okay.
Good question.
That's an internal battery. There's no changing.
You sound smart, Rob. Good job.
I'm on top of shit.
But what I do on my bike, if I'm doing a long ride, is when I use the Sessions, I have, this is something. This is a little redneck tech stuff here. But under my seat, I've got a cigarette lighter plug-in.
Oh, yeah.
That I
can run it
hot-wired into the battery. And then I've got an Anchor IQ 4-port power source that I plug in my micro USB lines, and then I wire them, snake a wire to the session.
So you can,
and then it will record as long as I want it, until the card's full.
Right.
And I've got it, I've got them to where I can take them anywhere on the bike.
Right.
Okay. You mentioned something else right there.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 2 questions. The size on that. I mean, I'm looking at a picture on the internet, but I'm thinking a 1-inch cube, 1 inch by 1 inch by 1 inch.
It's a little more than that. It's more like 1.25 inches, and a third,
okay.
maybe.
So not huge.
No, it's small.
And then the other thing you said was video, the card's full.
It'll take the same card capacity.
You're going to buy a 32 gigabyte.
Okay.
A 64. I got 64
I run
gigs
64s.
Okay. I buy a 64 gigabyte card. How much video am I going to get on that?
Oh, like 3.5. Yeah.
8.5 hours.
Oh, well, yeah. If you're talking 1080p.
1080p.
Yeah, if you're talking the resolution that it will shoot in, yes, correct.
The session only does 1080.
Right.
So 3.5 hours.
It does less than that, but it won't go higher than that.
Right.
And so it will do 8 hours, and it's so many minutes, 8.5 hours roughly, or maybe a little more or less.
Of what?
Of pure video.
1080p.
Is going to be on that 64 card.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 8 hours. Okay.
8 hours of straight freaking video camera on.
Okay,
done.
perfect. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah. It'll do that.
So
and it is already waterproof.
Yes.
And they come with 2 cages when you get them out of the box. Now, I say cages. It's a cage for the mount, because you can take it out of the mount cage and all you got's a cube.
Okay.
Nothing to mount it with. But you got to put it in the cage. I call it a cage.
Oh, I see. So the way we're looking at it here, to sum that up, is
it
comes
in a
with
cage.
a regular
See the one on the right there?
Right.
That's on like basically sitting on the table.
Right.
It's a white background, but you can't tell. But that's not in the cage.
Gotcha.
But the cage has the mount that everybody, is familiar with for mounting.
That's what I want. Yes, good. So it comes with a regular GoPro 3-prong mount that you guys are all familiar with.
The same normal mount.
If you already have GoPro accessories, the session's going to work with that too.
Yep.
Good call. And then you're saying you can take it out of that and just put it in a regular case. So you could like throw it in a lake and let it sink and take video.
Up to 33 feet.
It's waterproof on its own.
Oh, right. That's what okay. So you're saying that's just out of the cage.
The cage is only to mount it.
I gotcha. Understood.
And
Very
mine
cool.
always stay in the cage. I don't ever, until I scrape it
right
on the asphalt. But
right.
And then it's like, well, broke that one.
Maybe need to put that.
It's barely staying in there, but I still got my session, I just got to swap the cage out.
Sounds like,
but I have enough of them because I got 4 of those things. So
right. Okay. So what else does it take pictures of the session?
It can do that too.
Does it do time lapse?
It does the time lapse. It does the burst if you want to, and you can do all the same functions controlling it through your smartphone app.
So it has the smartphone app just like the regular
It's got
GoPro.
the Wi-Fi.
Good.
Yep. It's just not as, what's the word I'm trying to think of, as far as it's got a little tiny LCD readout screen
for your functions.
Yeah. And it's
Like
it's a little more confusing than on the regular full-size GoPro, because you got the full description and everything that you can tell what's going on.
Right.
When you click through all the options and the menus on the GoPro.
Yes.
The session is not as clear cut.
Okay.
So it's best to do it through your phone.
But the app will do all the same stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You can get it set how you wanted it.
It's very simple on your smartphone.
So 2 questions. You said the burst, so I'm thinking that's going to be snap,
Burst
snap.
Yeah, and
full
it's only
pictures.
up to like 30 frames in a second or something like that.
Okay.
It'll do, and then it's done.
And then the time lapse, explain that to me.
Time lapse is where you can set it up to take a photo, and you set the resolution you want the photo to be, and then you can set it up to take one every second, every half second, every 5 seconds, or every minute, however long. And then you can have it. I don't think there's a timer.
It'll go till the battery's dead.
Till the battery's dead, or you stop it.
Correct.
So if I saw the sun as it's setting and I want to take one every 30 seconds to capture
That's
that
what
sunset,
you do. That's the setting you use.
Okay.
That is time lapse. You've seen a lot of that on
And you've seen
our
them
channel.
where the clouds are just constantly moving across in a fast kind of moving flow. That's a time lapse.
Okay.
Yep. There's 2 ways, while we're on that subject. Yeah, no, it does do that. There's 2 ways to do time lapses. I do it both ways. There's time lapse photography and there's time lapse video.
Right.
So I'll do a video where I'll just set a video camera and just video stuff for like 5 minutes. And then in post production, I'll speed it up. It gives you a smoother time lapse. But for just time lapse photography, this does it, and it's good. And like
it's
you said,
awesome. I've tried it out.
It depends what look you're looking for.
Yeah. I've never used it in any production, but it really is pretty cool.
It's awesome. And so it pretty much does everything the regular GoPro does. Here's what what else about the session? And then before, I don't want to switch track. What about
audio's good? It does pick up audio really good.
Can't change the battery. That's a
no. That's a down,
negative.
That's a down. But if you can get power to it, you can go for those long time.
Or if you had a external battery pack, like I do for my phone when I was, you could just plug one of those in, and power it with that too.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Fair. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And when you say battery pack, you're talking about the generic kind that everybody can get stuck in their pocket. And yeah, there's so many of those
juice
out
packs
there.
And whatever. Yeah.
It's not a GoPro brand, no.
Right.
They don't have any. Now, I know on the regular GoPros you can get extra battery packs because I've got those.
Yes.
But these do not have those available.
Now, the session, does it have, so I can take and I can use my vlogging lavalier microphone inside my helmet. Does it have a micro USB so I can, it does not, you can't do audio into it.
No.
It has its own internal crappy condenser mic like most video cameras. It's going to get,
and it's not bad.
Audio.
It's not bad.
It's going to pick up ambient audio.
I don't use them to capture audio.
Right.
Only video.
Okay.
I mean, they capture audio anyway, but I don't use the audio on them.
So it would be more of a thing like Rob's talking about where you wanted to just mount it and let it run and you don't care about what audio it's picking up.
And it's not bad picking up, the sounds of the bike.
So I say ambient sounds, but it wouldn't be
it's
great.
Really good for that.
It would sound echoey for voice, like
no
normal
good for
cheap
voice.
video cameras, right?
It's not good for that. There's much better alternatives to use.
Okay.
But if I'm recording like you guys here just kind of BS and it's going to pick up what you're saying.
It will.
Oh yeah.
But on the,
what it'll sound like
really
is
good.
an old, so think of a home movie.
Right.
That's what it's going to sound
but
like.
On
that.
on my bike, all you're going to hear is
correct
the wind anyway.
Well, depending on where you mount it, you might hear more of the exhaust if you keep it out of the wind.
Right.
Okay.
But more likely you're going to want a clear video.
Right.
So you're going to mount that in the wind.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want it behind your windscreen.
You'll hear all the ambient noises. Yeah.
Pretty easy to clean bugs off the front of it.
Yeah.
Just wipe it off like a windshield or whatever.
I've put mine through hell and they just keep going.
Now I see some screws on the front of that while you're on that subject, Rob. That's a good subject. Can you change? It has a cage, but it has its own regular. So when it's out of the cage, it looks like it has a lens, obviously a protective.
Yeah, it's got something similar. I wish I'd have brought mine. We could actually look at it.
I've never touched one.
I left them in the truck over at Rob's. But I'm trying to remember. You can replace those. It seems like you can order. You know how you can get a lot of replacement parts for your silver one, and it seems like I remember seeing those at B&H. I think.
Okay, where you can replace the lens, not the lens, but the protective cover.
And I think they also have a fisheye. I mean, these are almost fisheye, but but they have another adapter to mount on that front. But man, I couldn't tell you for sure what that was. That's a vague memory.
Okay. Well, that's
because I didn't get them to do anything with them except, as they are.
Right.
Because, I use them a lot for band instruments and things to mount for, concerts and band shows.
They are wonderful for that. And they're small.
Because they're so small.
I will tell you this. So that's one of the, they've got their pluses and minuses, the session, which is really cool. And I'd love to have one. I think I could find uses for it around here at Lab Media. Haven't dove in and got one yet, so I've never actually handled one. I'm glad you're here because you have. So starting out, it would be a good starter camera. At least you have the app for functionality. One of the things I like, and I will tell you about the Hero 4 Silver. One of the reasons I went with that one over some others and over the session is because it makes it more familiar to people because it has an actual monitor,
an LCD
screen, and it makes it really easy, like your smartphone, to go through menus and reformat your card, and you can actually watch a little video back. You can
watch
see
it playback, yeah.
You can see what
you're capturing.
Yes, you can frame what you're capturing. That's the thing about GoPros.
Cool. Yeah.
And the session, you're just hoping, and they have a super wide angle lens, and as long as you're in the general direction, you're probably going to capture what you want. But now that I'm a little better, I probably don't need it as much, but I definitely want to know what I was capturing. But the nice thing is you have the app and your smartphone, and I do that a lot with my GoPro because I have a iPhone 6S Plus, and it's a huge screen, and I can use the app, and then I can see it on a bigger screen, and I can see what I'm capturing. So if you want to set it up, you can use the app, right? and figure out what you're capturing and make sure it's the right angles and what you're looking for. And then you can dump the app and just push the record button, and at least you know.
You line it up and then cut
so they're all
the Wi-Fi off. And
does that make sense at all, though? For some people out there, they might want to go with a Hero.
That is the thing about all the GoPros except for that one that you got, the Hero 4 Silver, because even the black doesn't have
it. That's why I went with the silver.
And that's what a lot of guys do. A lot of folks do. Well, that's the thing with all the GoPros is you do not have the ability to monitor what you're getting.
Unless you have the app going.
Unless you do the app. And that's clunky in a way because you're doing it over Wi-Fi. And the experience I've had with that is especially whenever I'm setting one on the truck, and I do it on the truck too, is, on the bike, is after an hour or two, I may go back to the app, let it run in the background. If I leave the app running in the background on my phone and then I go back to it, I've got a frozen frame.
Yep.
The Bluetooth freezes. What am I getting now? I don't know. So I have to shut the app off and then bring the app back up, and then it's refreshed to where it's, caught up in real time. Or it doesn't just freeze. It will, I'll see something go past me on the highway, and then like a minute later, it goes past on my phone.
Yes.
It's weird. But, mainly you use the app to, like you said, get your frame set up to where you want it. Like, on your bike, you're like, okay, I want my exhaust pipe down here in the lower left.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing a backward view, when I'm mounting that thing on the saddlebag. And because, I'll mount them all over the bike. I'll have 4 or 5 of them sometimes going at once. And, and I'm trying to get it, to where I get everything lined up and I got my angles right. And that's the other thing is if you do this, keep your feet away from them.
Yeah.
Because you'll bump them or anything else.
And knock the frames off, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you come back to get it and edit, you're like, oh,
it's the asphalt.
Yeah, it's looking at the road or something. But once you get that lined up, then you go to the other. That's the thing. Most guys are just going to use one.
Right.
But I'm using multiples, so I got to go back to my Wi-Fi, switch to the other camera. Yeah, this is a process, and it's time consuming too.
Yes.
But once you got them all up and you got them all running and you got them all lined up, then you hit the road and you're getting that sunset. It's awesome whenever you can get that sunset or even a sunrise. But when you can get that sunset in one of those frames, and it just sets the mood for whatever video you create.
Yeah.
And that's when it's great. You get that reflection off of the wheel or maybe off of the chrome pipes or something else.
See, you're talking my language.
There you go.
Rob's like, whatever, I just need a GoPro.
He just wants to mount that baby on the front of his bike.
He wouldn't know if it was a good video or a bad video.
And he just hopes that those girls in the bikinis are in it.
Yeah, right. So summing that up, Rob, the session, it's kind of good to go as it is.
It is.
It's a great, we'll talk about resolution, 1080p, 8 hours recording. You can't change the battery. A little bit harder to function through it unless you have a smartphone, so you can get it set. Once you have it set, turn your app off, and then you can just push record and stop when you want, and it's going to get what you want. Battery life about an hour and a half, and then you're going to have to charge it. We talked about an external pack versus that. It's also waterproof as is. Talking about a GoPro like I have, Rob, does all the session does and more. It's got the LCD screen on the back, so you don't even need to do it to your smartphone, which I tend to think that for a lot of people out there is easier because you don't got you got to create a little Wi-Fi network on your phone to talk between your GoPro, and some people just don't want to deal with that.
Technicalities to it.
Some people just want to go. I want to
turn it on, and I want to see
look
what
at the
I'm
back,
getting.
and I want
But a lot of the time,
but price point is different.
That's what I'm suggesting this session because it's
Lower
easier to dish that kind of money out.
But on a GoPro, am I holding it out and videoing, or am I mounting it somewhere I'm not looking at it?
No,
you know what I
mount
mean?
it. Right.
Yeah,
Mount
so
it.
I'm not going to be looking at the damn thing anyway.
If you're riding, that's
once
true.
it's set, it's set. I don't.
If you're riding, you want to mount it. Now you can do the selfie stick, and you can do different things with them, but you also don't want to drop that thing and have to go back and get it.
Right.
Because I did that once.
Oh.
And it's no fun. It's like, where the hell did it go?
Yeah.
That thing will go bouncing all over the place and you might have a hard time finding it in the bush.
Yes.
But
Rob has a hard time finding it in the bush sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no. And so good point, Rob. But if we're just talking about with your motorcycle, then you don't need the screen. I got off track because I use it for lab media. And when I'm doing time-lapse photography and I'm setting it up for other shots, I'm in a rush and I don't have time to be hooking it to apps all the time. I just want to see that back real quick and see that I have the frame I need and leave it because it's a secondary shot. It's a B-roll type stuff. And, and
I do a lot of B-roll.
B-roll. Rob doesn't even know what that is.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
So I like the screen. I'm just saying for some bikers, if they want to use it for multi-purpose, for snorkeling and family vacation and vlogging, one with a screen is kind of nice because you never have to connect it to your iPhone. You never have to. It's more familiar to people as a camera with an LCD screen.
And that's why
it's touch screen.
If you can afford it, I suggest you get that one.
And it's about $399.
Yeah, it's
compared to $199.
Twice as much, double the price.
And it will do more too.
Yeah,
which you won't need.
Probably won't.
Yeah, because when you guys were talking about the other resolutions,
4K and all that, you won't do that.
Yeah, I'm 1080 fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, and most everybody is.
Yep,
that's all they need. That's all they want.
So that 1080 is the high definition on
that's
YouTube.
your TV. Yeah. I mean, well, YouTube does more than that now too, but they do 4K.
Right. Yes.
But 1080 is what a lot of videos on YouTube are now, and that's what your TV. I've been in your house. That's what your TV is.
Yep.
So if you want to play it back on your TV, that's what it is.
What are you doing over there?
Adjusting my
You're
glasses.
knocking your glasses in the mic and everything.
I heard
it's
it.
a disaster.
I heard it.
Yeah.
So so stop now.
All right.
You said I want to watch it on my TV. How do I do that?
How do you do that? Well,
Hang on a
that's
sec.
a little more.
That's a good question. Let's hold that.
Yeah.
Only because I want to keep this. This is good. That was a neck bubble. That's good stuff. Watch on TV. So
are you okay over there?
What it was? That was a neck bubble. So let's talk about before we move past resolution. So that's the thing. The Hero 4 Black or the Hero 4 Silver, which is you can do 2K. We're not going to get into the technical aspects of that. A black you can do 4K. A lot of people have questions about that. Let's keep it simple.
Okay.
Right now, the 4K is really cool. There's not a lot of 4K TVs. Most people aren't putting it out at 4K. It takes double, triple, quadruple the storage of 1080p. And there's serious storage problems, which is why Law Abiding Biker Media is not doing 4K anything. And I have cameras capable of that.
Huge amounts of data storage.
And nobody's going to see it in that. Less than 2% of the people that maybe.
Nobody hardly cares to see that.
And it will be in the future.
It will be. It will be. And
but
4K
YouTube
TVs are,
compressed.
like you said, they're coming out. But
nobody's putting it out in 4K hardly.
But
your
95% of your television audience, and this is away from what we're talking about, but 95% of your television audience, they're not going to buy a 4K set.
Right.
When they can get a 1080p set, for not even a quarter of that price.
Even if you get a 4K TV, most people aren't putting out 4K, so you're going to see it in 1080 anyways.
Right.
And YouTube is compressing. People don't know that. They compress the crap out of your videos anyways. You're never going to, for the most part, see it in 4K. You're going to see it in 1080p, even if you're shooting higher. We could go off on a tangent on that about slow motion and different things.
Just know that
you don't need 4K.
The black can do 4K.
You don't need it.
But you don't need it.
You would be ridiculous to me, the Bikaholics out there, the 99, don't get a 4K, don't shoot in 4K. Nobody's going to care.
Nothing. I shoot nothing in 4K.
Nope.
Not even 2.7.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, and so what he's talking about 2.7K is my Hero 4 Silver will shoot in 2.7K. And I don't even do that because of the storage issues, and nobody's going to see it in 2.7K anyways.
My 3 Plus Silvers do too.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, I think so, but I never even go there.
No.
My 3 Plus Black, I don't have any 4s, but my 3 Plus Black will do 4K also. I don't use it.
Right.
It's the data.
Right. Eventually
it will. Up so much storage.
Yes. And try moving 4K video into an editing program.
Try editing.
And we will talk about post editing stuff, which is good. 4K unless you have a Mac Pro and you have the best of the best 4K. I've already messed with 4K trying to manipulate it. And I have pretty fast, as fast as IMAX as you can get, and it hangs a little bit even on 4K. End of that conversation.
Playing it back, even.
Yeah, right. Even playing it back. Yes. Right now, my suggestion, 1080p. And we can talk about frame rates. We've talked about a little bit because we can get really down and dirty with that. But, there's different looks. There's different cinematic looks when you're talking about 23 point.
24. Basically 24.
Frames, basically
23.98.
Yes.
29.97.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are all your cinematic. There's different.
The 24 is cinematic. I've done some of that.
Yes, me too.
But it was tinkering. That's all it was.
I love tinkering with it. For a GoPro, guys, 60 frames per second is a good standard.
But even 30 for most guys,
correct,
I think is all they want.
You're right. And you'll get more out of your storage card at 30 frames per second.
Right.
60 frames per second, Rob, you'll be able to slow things in slow motion better and it'll look smoother in slow motion. But if you're not going to slow things in slow motion, then save the storage and run it in 30 frames per second.
A 64 gig card, 30 frames per second will give you the 8.5 hours.
Okay.
And 60 frames per second on mine, I don't understand. It doesn't cut it in half. It doesn't cut it in half. I get like almost 5 hours.
Okay.
4 hours, 51 minutes or something like that.
I get about 3 something on that at 60 frames per second at 1080p. Yeah.
64 card.
64 gigabyte.
What are we talking cost on something like that?
They're not much.
100 something.
No, they're not even there.
Really? Well,
I mean, it depends on what you want, what card brand you get. I get the SanDisk Extremes.
Oh yeah,
I think I paid 70. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I do the SanDisk Ultra Plus.
There's a 64 Ultra Plus. Okay, the one in the middle, the Extreme Plus,
$50.
There you go. They're even cheaper now.
That's the XC1, which you want, and it's the fastest.
I need to buy some
Extreme
more.
Plus. That's at Best Buy, which is interesting. $50 for a 64. That will not come with your GoPros, guys. No. GoPro is not going to give you any extras. You have to buy your own cards.
I did see a session pack for $250 from what was it, H&R? What was it, H&R?
B&H.
B&H for $250, and it looked like it came with a small little card, and it came with a little. Go to B&H and look. I think it came with like a selfie stick and a couple little things.
B&H will do kits with all kinds of their stuff, with all camera gear and different things.
While we're talking about B&H, guys, do not forget to use our affiliate link if you're going to buy stuff after this or anytime. Russell Roberts, our patron sitting there in the studio, uses it heavily because he's a photographer.
It all the time.
LawAbidingBiker.com/B, then the word and H.
That's a Mark IV up there.
That is a Mark IV. Or head over to LawAbidingBiker.com/banners anytime. All our affiliate banners are there. You click through, no additional cost to you. If you click through any of those banners, including B&H, and you make a purchase, we get a small kickback, and it helps us out. And bookmark that, guys. LawAbidingBiker.com/B and H. Let's go and search. We're there now.
Just do that and Hero Session and see what comes up in your search.
So
top one. Yep.
All right, scroll down. There'll be some kits
right there.
$250.
So
yeah, what's that got?
So it's got a sorry, it's the screen's a little small for you guys, but I'll read it.
Look at there.
So it comes with 1080. Yeah, obviously it captures blah 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 ultimate wide angle. What comes in the kit? It looks like it comes with a selfie stick, so to speak. A
remote
phone
was one of the things that came.
No, that's just a handhold stick. That's not really a selfie.
No, you're right. It's just a handhold stick to help steady it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but it's coming with a Wi-Fi remote.
Click on the picture, make that.
Bring it up. Hit the plus button down there on the bottom. Yeah. That's a 30. What is that? No, that's a 16 card.
That's a 16 gigabyte card. So pretty small card.
Yeah.
But still a good deal. Comes with the remote. That's amazing. That remote's not cheap. That's a good deal right now.
They're $80.
They are $80. So while we're talking about that, and then let's go on to this package at Rob. I appreciate it. So I also use it on my motorcycle, guys, because I don't always use the app. The app, like I say, it burns a ton of phone battery. It burns a lot of battery. It burns a lot of Bluetooth. Just because you're running stuff.
You're doing Wi-Fi.
You're doing Wi-Fi, right? You're creating a Wi-Fi network. And I tend to only use that for framing to make sure on my helmet. I'll reach up, adjust it, make sure it looks good. Then I'll kill the iPhone app. Or wrapped around my handlebars, I have the GoPro remote, which is a separate purchase. In this particular case, it's a package deal. And that's what I use from that point on. And it's nice because you can it's actually like a wristwatch. You can put it around your wrist, but I actually put it around my handlebars like I did today. And then I can reach down and I can turn my GoPro off and on with this little watch remote, and I can hit record and stop record at any time once I have my frame and I know that I'm recording, the correct frame. So I would suggest getting that. This is a good little package, $249. Hero Session comes with the handle, the handle and remote, and a 16 gigabyte SanDisk card. Comes with because it's a micro USB, it comes with a micro SD conversion card so that you can fit it in your standard SD slot. Standard SD slot. So they all come, most of the cards that you buy, mini SBs, come with those. Yeah, Rob, that's a good little package, $249.
Yeah, that's a good find.
Because the card, it's 16 gigabyte. I would think you'd probably want to get at least another card
get you started.
Card. Yeah, get you started.
Get you started, yeah.
Again, guys, that's on B&H, one of our affiliates, guys. Good little deal. Let's go back and see if they got any other packages right now. No, they've got cages.
Okay, there is your lens covers and things you can get.
GoPro lens replacement kit for Hero Session camera, so you can replace.
I thought there was something on there.
Yeah, not bad.
What's the price?
It doesn't say, does it?
No, it's still in stock.
Ask or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it right now.
I just know they existed. I thought they did.
Well,
now there's
go up a hair. Go up a hair.
There's the wrist.
Down.
No, the wrist. The
Right
LCD
here?
wrist thing.
Oh, see, that's interesting.
Yeah, I remember those were out there.
That's not GoPro though. That's an aftermarket company.
There's a lot of aftermarket stuff for GoPros now. I don't know how good some of it is because I've never tried.
That's not a bad deal.
What is that price?
That's $89, and that's for a Removu R1 Live View remote. So it's like a wristwatch, but it also has an LCD screen, so you can actually tie it around your wrist, and it's an actual LCD screen, and you can start record, you can stop record, basically like the LCD screen on the back of my Hero 4 Silver. You can put it around your wrist, $89, and it's got 4.5 or 4-star positive.
It looks
review.
like it. And is it waterproof?
2-inch live. Let's see, wristband record, battery, camera. It doesn't say
water and shock
resistance. Yeah,
there you go. That's what you need for your session. If you get one session, get that for your scuba diving.
There you go.
Okay,
and then you can hold the GoPro session on a stick, because you'll want to move it around and have it come back, and you might want to get your wife in it, and then on your wrist you can see what you're getting, so you can line up what you're getting.
Right.
Okay.
Not a bad deal.
I like that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we won't even get into that. They've got different filters, lens filters,
don't bother
but
with that stuff.
Yeah, shit I'll never use.
Yeah, right.
No, most of us. I don't even use them.
I don't even use them either.
Well,
so,
I'm a little more advanced than you guys.
If you want to become artistic, Rob, we'll support you.
Right, we will. If you want to get a pink filter, you're good. So there you go. That gives you a little bit of what else about the questions do you have, Rob? About no. So I will, because you asked a question. The GoPro Hero 4 Silver. It also, aside from the session, I've got like 8 batteries.
And that's a plus.
When I'm vlogging and I'm riding cross country like we did to Colorado this year, and I've got to get stuff.
Keep swapping them
today.
out.
I had to stop. Mm-hmm. It went dead. I said, guys, pull over, and thank God you guys are patient with me. You guys have learned to be patient. I had to swap a battery real quick because I need the footage, and I didn't have with a session. I'd be down and out unless you had constant power. I don't have that on my helmet.
Yeah. No, that would look even worse than what you already got up there.
Yes, right.
It does look pretty bad.
Oh yeah, I look like a train wreck, dude. People look at me. People wave all the time though, because I look at them and they think I'm recording.
They know you got a video camera up there because it's what it is. It's obvious.
It's when we roll into Roslyn.
Oh hey, I'm on a video.
They do too. When we rolled into Roslyn today, people were doing that.
Yeah, I saw that.
What else about? So the regular GoPros, guys. Aside from the Hero Session, I think it has its place. I really want one. I don't know if I'll get one, but I really want one, especially listen to Russell talk about it, is you got to have multiple cases. Because
with the 3 or the 4 silver.
With your regular GoPros, you got to have cases. You got to have a waterproof case. There's different back doors. For them, depending on how deep you're going.
And that's for the extra battery packs if you get those, which I've got those because sometimes I'm running long hours on them. In band situations, and then with now on yours, I guess you can probably do it even with that screen on the back. The battery pack.
Right.
I guess you could.
You can.
So whenever you do a battery pack, you got to have the deep doors.
What he's talking about, real quick, guys.
Extended battery.
Yeah. So what it is on the back of your GoPro, regular GoPro, it's thick.
Quarter inch,
and it goes on the back of your GoPro, and it's an extended battery, so it just makes your GoPro thicker which then means you need a different case to accept a GoPro with the thicker battery.
Well, the original case works. It comes with doors, thicker doors for the back.
True that. Yeah. True that. Good call.
And it comes with open doors, open back, because, with the silver, the GoPro 4,
right,
the mic's in there.
Right.
So if you totally enclose, waterproof, use the waterproof backing, then no sound gets in.
If you just use the waterproof case, some sound does get in, believe it or not. I've used it, but
a little bit.
It's sketchy.
It's
sketchy.
It has to be somebody, and even then it's not, you're not going to capture somebody's conversation.
Right.
But if it's mounted on a bike, you're going to get that
right
through the metal sound.
Yes.
That's going to come in there. Or if it gets bumped around or anything, that sounds. But as far as trying to capture any audio, especially trying to time sync,
yes,
with a clapper, or what I'm talking about,
right? Yeah,
you're trying usually to sync. A lot of times I sync things in my timeline on Premiere by the sound levels.
We're losing Rob.
So when you're syncing, you're talking about taking multiple GoPro shots and lining them up
multiple angles, multiple cameras that are going on at the same time.
So that they line up that you're
correct
at the same time.
The way editing software, most of it works, depending on what you're doing, is it will take as many cameras as you want, multicam. And then there's auto features that you can sync them. So then you can
by the sound.
It uses sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work very well anyways.
Not always.
When you're just doing wind, it really needs.
It does not work in that at all.
It doesn't. It needs voice.
And so like when I'm doing bike videos, you're manually
trying to align stuff.
And sometimes I'm just taking clips. I will just do that even. But if I'm wanting to switch angles real quick on the same scenery, then I gotta line it up.
Right.
And then and in Premiere, then you're using your markers, to say where it's going to go, which camera is it going to for these frames,
right?
So we've really got the actual GoPro down, and I'm assuming we're going to go to some mounting and stuff like that. Can we go to mounting next?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think it's a good time because me and Russ could go down a rabbit trail that nobody is going to care about.
You're starting to lose me on shit.
Right.
So,
so keep us on track.
I got a pretty good idea on the actual GoPros. And it sounds like Russ told me earlier, this session sounds like it's something that would work for me. The only downside I see to it is the battery life. But aside from that. So now mounting, what I see a lot of people do, and Ryan does it, is he puts that thing on top of his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you worry at all about that? Stickum coming undone in that thing?
I do not.
No.
They're so freaking sticky.
Are they that good? See, I don't know. I've never played with one.
Good question. Briefly, there are other GoPros too, guys. You can go back and save money. You don't have to buy a Hero 4 Silver. You can do the GoPro, 3s, 3 Pluses, right? You can get those still for the price of a session. They won't do 4K, but you don't need 4K.
No.
So just understand, I'm not going to go through every...
The main things is, the price point on a session, it's the cheapest thing you can get, brand new. And it does the 1080p. You just have to set things through your app.
Right.
And then the other main thing is the 4 Silver gives you that back screen.
Right.
And like you were saying earlier, that is something that, would be a necessity. Now, if you can afford the 4 Silver, I suggest you get it because of that back screen.
Right.
Because then you don't have to have you don't have to use your app, your phone app, and you don't have to.
We don't mind that, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah,
non-techie
are okay.
Rob doesn't want to deal with it.
No, and that's why I'm thinking maybe he should get the Hero 4 Silver.
Right.
And then a waterproof backing. I mean, it comes with it.
Right. But just understand you guys can go back. There's still other, like here's a GoPro Hero 3. They're older cameras. They're not the Hero 3 Silver or Hero 4 Silver.
Those are like 3 years ago.
$199 or $199.
$200.
But they're 1080p. They're fine. You can for $199. You could
actually looking on Amazon.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yes, definitely. LawAbidingBiker.com/Amazon, guys, if you want to help us out if you purchase one of these. And there's the basic GoPro camera.
The very basic.
The very basic.
Those they look like the Hero like yours.
Right.
Now the batteries are not changeable on those.
Correct.
Either.
So know that the older models, the batteries aren't changeable, but you can go.
I mean the newer base model.
Oh, right.
The batteries don't change. They're $199 too, but the batteries won't change.
Right, the regular GoPro.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And that's what I'm getting at is GoPro has a base model, Rob, just like mine, but it doesn't have the
same shape
LCD. It doesn't do, it's the same shape, but it doesn't.
It only does 1080p, I think, at 30.
What's the battery life on that one?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't have no clue. Never experienced with them.
But if you just want to get in cheap, but like he says, look at the specs. It probably only does 30 frames per second.
That's all it does.
That's all it does.
I don't think it does time lapse either.
Right.
I could be wrong.
Right.
I think it doesn't do much.
One battery on yours, how long does it last? Because I'm guessing that's probably the same type of battery that's on those.
At 60 frames per second, 3.5 hours.
Okay.
No, the battery.
Oh, the battery only lasts, God.
Not even an hour probably.
40 minutes.
Okay,
45
so
minutes.
the session lasts a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. It does.
But it doesn't change batteries. So
but neither
and
does
over
that
time,
the one he's talking about, the base model.
Yes, probably the same.
Yeah, 45 minutes or an hour.
Longer because it's only, that's probably a good bet. Yeah. Yep.
And that's a guess on our part.
Yeah, it's a guess because I'm not going to look up the specs on each of these. You guys can certainly do that out there if you want. We're just giving you a baseline. You know what? I think it's time. We do appreciate our patrons, of course. We thanked a few. But if the way you want to support us is by a flat donation, well, guess what, Rob? We'll never balk at a flat donation.
Not at all.
Why don't you take some time, Rob, and thank these people right here for some flat donations.
Paul Ware of Fremont, California with a substantial donation. Thank you, Paul. Scott Lang of Buffalo Grove, Illinois. And Wayne Cron of Delta, British Columbia.
BC, Illinois,
Canada.
California, shout out. That's right, lawabidingbiker.com/donate. You too can take action and help put a little fuel in the Law Abiding Biker gas tank. Help this thing keep going on down the road, and we appreciate each and every one of you. If that's your choice to support us through a flat donation, well, again, we're not going to balk at that. So, with that said, where are we at? There are different, I'll just sum it up by saying there's a lot of different GoPros. Hopefully we gave you guys without getting too techie, because I get it. Me and Russ can go down a rabbit trail because we love talking about this stuff, but I want to keep it simple for you guys to today to go, okay, I know what I want to get. And Rob's got some more questions. Your last question was
what I want answered is
we talk about remote. Yeah, go ahead.
Some mounting.
Okay.
And what do I do with the video afterwards? Get it on my TV, upload it to YouTube. I mean, I have a YouTube channel,
right,
so I can track people and watch the people that have stuff that's interests me, but I've never uploaded a video before.
Very cool.
My kids have, but
right.
You might get their help too.
Right.
But, the mounts, we can get into that next.
Let's do it. There's only one mount, Rob, lawabidingbiker.com/store. It is called the Biker Gripper GoPro mount. Now we're going to talk about helmet mounts too. We don't currently have a helmet mount in our store, but I'll tell you how I mount mine. But of course, if you're going to mount it to your bike, and Russ, I think you can attest to this.
I tried. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us about regular. Be careful.
The GoPro mounts.
The GoPro
on motorcycles they suck. I got some crappy video out of those, and I started researching, trying to find. I was like, man, this is just not working out. I mean, sometimes depending on my RPMs, I could get some clear footage, but most of the time, it just wasn't working. And then
they're kind of a flimsy. The regular GoPro one, Rob, they're a bar mount. They're kind of a universal. You can mount it here. Ours are universal too. Our Biker Gripper, law-abiding biker mounts, but they're a whole different type of plastic, and it's a solid metal mount. The GoPro ones, if you go to my video, if you go to lawabidingbiker.com, search GoPro, you'll see one of my videos there. And I actually show you the actual standard GoPro one, and it's just very flimsy. I broke multiple of those.
I've broken them.
I've broken them. They're cheap
some
plastic.
of my band kids have broken them.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, they are.
They're cheap ass plastic.
And you don't pay cheap for them, but whenever you buy extras,
Yeah. And it says GoPro on it. It's got to be expensive. Yeah.
So I was starting to look around, and I was searching through B&H and Amazon and different places, even Googling, trying to find better mounts. And then it just happened. You guys
again
come out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. You guys come out with yours, and I was like, I saw one of your emails, and I was like, I got to check this out, see what this is about. I was like, man, I need to get one. So I ordered one, got it, and used it. I was like, shit, this is working.
I'm not
now.
just saying that because it's ours. It's the bee's
I ordered
knees.
3 more.
You did. I remember.
I was like, man, I got to get more of these. And then I think I ordered some more because I've got more than that. And man, they're solid. I still have some issues every little bit.
Yep.
But man, it minimized that.
Yep. You're always going to get some vibration. It's hard to.
You cannot get rid of 100% of that.
It depends on the RPMs. It
The
depends on the
RPMs,
roadway.
The roadway.
Right.
Yeah, on the V-twins. Now,
Yes.
my buddy has got a Valkyrie.
Oh,
That thing runs smoother than snot, and he never has any vibration issues in his videos.
yeah.
You know, and I gave him one of your biker gripper
Oh,
mounts.
cool.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
The session is pretty small. Will it work in the biker gripper?
Yeah. It's the same mount. That's the cool thing about the Session is it mounts to all the standards. So if you already have a GoPro, any of the accessories
They're all
that
the
are
same
regular, they're
mount.
all the same.
They're
They keep
all
it universal.
They're all the slot.
And our mount is a GoPro mount, so it's made to work with the universal 2-hinge 3-prong mount system.
Okay.
So let me say this real quick. You guys have all heard of our biker grippers, cell phone mounts. Well, those same mounts, it's all the same.
It's the same.
It's the same mount, so
universal mount.
It's a different head. You instead of the phone head, the biker gripper head that holds your cell phone, you can just buy a GoPro. But most people want to
put
have
on
their
the ball.
You put it on the 17 millimeter ball. That's
Okay,
it.
perfect.
And it fits the same, and you can get multiples of them.
I use them on my big truck too.
Do you? Mm-hmm. We use the
biker grip. The universal mount for the the biker grip GoPro mount.
You mount it to some bar on
bars
your truck
in different places. Yeah.
We have the universal mount, which just wraps around a bar, guys.
And I'm thinking I might even mount them to different. I'm flatbed, so there's times when I could mount them on stuff that's I'm hauling.
Right. Yeah, good call. They are very universal.
Get different angles there.
And it'll also, if you have a control mount, if you depending on if you have a fairing or not. Anyways, good, Rob. It mounts the GoPro head. I would suggest just getting another universal mount and then the GoPro head, and like Russ does multiples of them. You can put them on your saddlebag bars. You can put them on your engine guard bars, because we have all the spacers come in the kit for the different size bars, handlebars, any bar. It doesn't matter.
I've even mounted them whenever I've took my trunk off. I've even mounted them on the truck, on the what do you call that? The multi-purpose mount back there.
Universal mount.
Docking.
The docking.
Yeah,
on
right,
the docking
hardware.
things back there. I've even mounted them there.
Yep.
You can mount them in different
You get creative.
places. Yeah.
If it's a bar, you can mount to it as long as it's a bar.
And you can get the spacer down far enough. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. If you get the spacers, and the kit comes with that, guys. So that's why finally I was like, I need something, because I was trying to do GoPro videos on the bike, and I was using the GoPro one, and I broke a couple of them. I was just getting pissed, and then I realized we already sell the biker gripper. We need a head for this, and lo and behold, we worked something out, and we've got that biker gripper head. So that is one suggestion for mounting. Now let me get in, and Russ, you can jump in here too. Another mounting option for your bike. It depends if you want first person perspective. It depends on what you're trying to do, Rob.
That's where it starts.
Yeah, right. If you're trying to just get motorcycle shots like we do, and wheels turning and stuff like that, then you need it on the bike to be mounted. Or if you're riding next to somebody, there's ways to get those shots too. If you're just looking for first person like you, where you're like, I want the camera to see what the frick I see. And wherever I turn my head, I want to see, well, then a helmet mount solution is going to be your best bet, like I use. All I use on the helmet mount solution and is a regular, you can get them in kit. They come with like 5 helmet. They're slightly concaved. And
I've seen those.
Yeah, helmet mounts.
Stickier in hell.
Stickier in hell.
They won't come off.
They won't.
When you put it on there, it's going to stay there.
The only way to get them off, I've had to take them off, is with a heat gun and heat the glue up, and you can get them off. But you
still got to pry it up.
You do have to pry it up, and you have to use a little cleaner to get the sticky stuff off. But they're there. Well, if you're going to plan on putting it there, plan on it being there. Make sure you do it right the first time, because it's a bitch to get off. Those are just regular GoPro ones. They work well. And you can mount it. Some guys, there's different linkages, so to speak. So you could mount it on the front. Some guys put it on the front of their helmet right here. If you don't have a vent, I have a vent right here.
Right here is
on your chin of your helmet. And then you can bring it out and bring it up, and it'll be in front of your line of sight a little bit. I just do mine on the top.
That's for the guys that wear full face.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yes, because I need to talk while I vlog, which is another point. Yes, it's another point. And so some guys will put them right up there, but those are sport bike guys. I need to get up over the fairing to give my audience a view of what I'm seeing, and so I need to put it on the top of my helmet to get up over my Harley fairing. So that's why I wear it on the very top of my helmet. You can mount it to the side, and there's other linkages that you can bring it out the side and then do an L linkage and bring it up. GoPro has all this on their site. You can manipulate that thing in any position
but just
you want.
remember, every link you add, you're going to get vibration.
More vibration. The farther it is out from where it's mounted is more. And for motorcycling, I'd keep it as close as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to deal with those vibrations.
I try to keep it just on the one.
Yep, me too.
All right, so I've got my GoPro. I've got it mounted. I've got my 64 gigs, so I can get 5 hours of 60 frame per second.
Yes, FPS, please.
Yep, 64 megabytes or gigabytes or whatever the hell it is.
Can you say FPS? It'll make you sound smart.
It's going to be
say 60
FPS.
60 FPS at 1080. Say at 1080p at 60 FPS.
At 1080p. Isn't there I in there somewhere?
Yeah, sure.
No,
there isn't. If you want it to be.
You don't want interlaced.
You don't want interlaced. No. Don't even get us started on interlaced.
I just saw that somewhere
versus
once.
1080 progressive versus 1080 interlaced. We don't want to deal with that, do we?
Stay away.
Me and Russ can deal with that. Yeah, for sure. Not on this podcast.
No,
they don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so now I've shot some video, or I've got it on there. I've shot. We've talked about shooting, and now I need to do something with it.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
What do I do?
So
you got to get it off the card.
That is a good question. Let's hold it for just a second.
Sure.
Hold it. That's good. I'm writing it down because I've got that up here. So before we go there, real quick, Rob, because I know we get this question all the time on email. I get it on all my YouTube videos. I'm going to do a video on it to show you my actual helmet setup. I'll tell you on the podcast really quick. We'll make it simple. I'm going to have the links in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever show this is. I'll have affiliate links there to take you through to the equipment I use if you're interested in moto vlogging, which is riding your motorcycle and talking and vlogging. I use, you need a quiet helmet. I use a full face for a reason, because you're never going to vlog with a half helmet because you'll get too much wind noise. There's no way to get rid of that. You're going to have to get a good quiet full face. I use a Schuberth C3. It's one of the quietest helmets in the world.
It is. I got one.
You do too. You did get one, huh?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I use it in the winter though.
Okay. I use it year round because I have to vlog and I need that quietness. And I run a lavalier mic to my GoPro, which is strapped to the top of my helmet with regular mount. And then you need a conversion. So what I use is and again, I'll have the links. It's called a GoPro 3.5 millimeter mic adapter. Basically what that does is it takes my lavalier mic, which is up in my helmet. It's clipped up in my helmet near my mouth where I can talk. I run a cord along my helmet. And then I need to convert, guys, because you can't take a 3.5 millimeter, your standard headphone jack. You can't plug it directly into the GoPro. So you need to convert it into a micro mic adapter, into a micro USB. Mini USB. And that's what the GoPro takes. And so it's a conversion that takes a 3.5 millimeter for my microphone, regular headphone, plug it in, boom. The mini USB goes into my GoPro. I have a skeleton case on my GoPro. The reason I have a skeleton case is because it opens up the ports so that I can have access to this particular mini USB. Regular waterproof case or stuff, they aren't open on the side. So I use a skeleton case for that reason. If it's raining, you're screwed. So you might not want to use this because you'll get moisture in your camera. And then that's called a GoPro 3.5 millimeter mic adapter. It's $19.
19, okay.
Yep. And that's a GoPro brand. Be very careful. Do not use the cheap Amazon ones, conversions. They are junk. They will break. And many of them, you will not hear your voice because they aren't wired right to accept. They're only basically made, obviously not overseas, and you'll probably last a couple times. I tested a couple, and a lot of guys can't even hear their voice anyways. It's the way it's wired. So on that, I don't always do that, but I would suggest getting the GoPro brand because it will be assured that you will get the voice up and into your GoPro and in the video. And then what I do on my lavalier mic, there's a ton of them out there. But the one I've been most happy with for my particular needs is a Sony ECM CS3 clip style omnidirectional microphone for $16.99 on Amazon. Again, the links will be in the show notes. And I'm going to do a video to show you guys my actual setup and how I run my wires. I did a few tricks and a little clip that I got at the hardware store so that I can keep my wires organized running up the side of my helmet. But that should give you good direction. So the two things you'll need is that Sony clip omnidirectional stereo microphone. You'll need that GoPro 3.5 millimeter mic adapter accessory. And then, of course, your GoPro. but that'll get you moto vlogging. And then we can talk, I won't get into it, but my helmet's so quiet that I don't need a wind filter for that lavalier microphone, but I will submit to you that when I'm riding at 70 plus and there's a heavy, heavy crosswind, it even overpowers my very quiet helmet and wind gets up in there. So I'm looking at a solution. And what I'm talking about is some kind of foam or something to put around that lavalier, especially if you have a cheaper helmet. You'll have to test it. If you get a cheaper helmet, you get a lot of wind noise, it's probably going to be futile to try to motovlog. You're going to need a high quality helmet. So, all right. So with that said, you have anything else on that, Russell?
Well, I not for motorcycles, but I've got a Cena setup that mounts on like a battery pack on the back of a GoPro. Mm-hmm. And then I've got the Cena. Well, you can use it with any Bluetooth mic almost, really. And then you sync it up and you can vlog. I'm thinking about doing that as trucking. And I can. Are
you talking about a regular Cena motorcycle headset?
Yeah, I got the Cena 20. I think it is,
the Cena 20, very popular.
Yeah,
you mount it to your helmet.
I use that in the truck, and then I can use it with my half helmet though. But I use it mainly for. Well, I'm always getting calls on loads and brokers and agents.
So you're using it for phone calls.
I'm using it for phone calls, but I also bought that pack. Man, I wish I could remember the details of it, but it's from Cena, and it mounts on the back of my GoPro.
Did not know they made that, so I'm going to ask. I want to know the details. Okay. Yeah,
I wish I'd have brought that too.
Yeah, that's all right.
But it mounts on the back. It works really great. I don't know how it would work with trying to do what you're doing. While
how
you're
will
on
it do on your case though? Will it fit in the case? A
it's
regular
got its
GoPro
own
case?
It's got the Cena comes with its own case,
and it mounts on the back of the GoPro. So you have a GoPro case mounted to a Cena case.
No, it's a Cena's case.
Okay. Oh,
it's made for my GoPro.
It's made for the Thank you.
Yeah,
but
it's not a weatherproof case. It's just a cage around.
Okay.
And because there is some clunkiness that comes out the side, so they got their own case that fits that.
Okay.
And because it has to clip in, you have to take the door off, not the back door, but the side little cover.
Right, like my skeleton case.
In order for this other piece then to connect with your GoPro.
Because it needs to go in that. It
slides into the backpack, the Cena backpack, in the side of the GoPro.
Right.
And
it needs to because that micro USB.
Then you put this cage around that.
Okay.
And it works great.
And so it's basically doing what I'm doing, but it's talking without a wire.
It's wireless. It's Bluetooth.
It's wireless Bluetooth. Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And there's a lot of more companies doing that, which I don't know how deep we'll get in today, but there are companies that are realizing the moto vloggers out there like myself, and they're making cameras and microphones that are ready for the helmet. And you can.
A lot of people got a lot to say, don't they?
They do. Some people you don't want to hear, some you do.
Some you do.
Yeah, right. That's good. I did not know that. So there's a Bluetooth solution, Cena. Great company, great brand. And
it's great.
That's a Bluetooth solution.
Solid.
Would it still mount on the top of my helmet? It would just be a lot bulkier.
Yeah.
Rob would tease me more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably.
Maybe I'll stick with a wire solution.
So a question, the micro SD cord, does that plug into a session? The micro SD cord that he showed.
You mean the micro USB?
No, you cannot do this on a session.
Cannot do this on a session. Right. Yep, good question.
Yeah, I think you answered that earlier, but I wanted to double check.
Great follow-up. Nope, absolutely. And you're not motovlogging with a session.
No.
You're not. It's strictly for video, pretty much. So, Rob's question, and we'll get into this, and yeah, we've been going long. Okay, we'll start moving. Dang. It's amazing how time flies up here. Did you realize that?
I don't know. What is it?
It's an hour and 24.
Is it really?
It's actually about an hour and 15 because I started recording a little before, but about an hour and 15. It don't
seem like it.
No, it goes fast up here.
We could do this all night.
And we never want to get everything. We never finish saying everything we want to say. And
I know.
We'll save it for another episode.
I can see that now.
Right? Yeah, you're just like, God, I have so much in this
There's
mind.
more to lay out there on the table.
Yeah. So, Rob, your question was right before because I wanted to tell the audience what I use because I get asked. Now I can refer them to this episode.
Mm-hmm. I want to get the stuff off the GoPro.
Yes. So, and Russell, feel free to jump in at any time. Some of your questions were, do you do it to YouTube? But basically what you can do is it's pretty simple. So with your SD card, your micro mini SD card comes a regular adapter
for your SD slot.
You put your mini in it and it looks like it. Then it looks
I've seen those.
Okay. You plug that into the back of your computer. It's that simple. And we'll talk about what you can do from it from there. But then you can just plug it in. Your computer recognizes it, and you can open it up, and you can.
Looks like a drive there. Yeah.
Now there's a lot of extra files GoPro does. So you're going to see file. It's going to be weird extension
It's all
names.
in a folder. Yeah, you got to go in the DCIM folder, and then you're going to see another folder inside of there.
Yes.
Excuse me. And then you're going to find more files under there, and then you're going to have different. You're going to have the video files.
I wish they would change that and just hide those. It's stupid.
Yeah. But
because nobody else does
you're going
that.
to see the video files, and then you're seeing
MP4.
And then you're seeing the TH. I don't even pay attention. And then LRV file,
right,
for each video clip, because it's going to break it up. It's
They're
not
data
going to be
files.
If you do 4 hours of recording, you're not going to have one video file.
You'll have three.
You'll have
three files, one video file. Well, it'll break them up.
No, it breaks them up because each video file is going to max at 2 gig.
Yep.
So depending on what frame rate you're using, so it's going to be 20 minutes or 40, 30 something. Anyway.
Yep.
I can't remember. I don't remember.
Just look for your MP4 files and pull those out.
But here's what I do. I put all of my data on a separate drive for the video. And so basically I'm just going to copy that day's video files into that day's folder in my GoPro drive. Now there's two different things that I use, and that's a whole nother subject, but backup.
Yeah.
And I've got Drobos and I got backup Drobos, and then I've got backup drives that I put in the vault.
Yep.
So
Rob will not be doing that. Rob just wants to get it on his computer.
Yeah. But essentially you need to just copy the whole folder off of the GoPro micro SD card and put that where you want to keep this stuff.
You can actually just grab all the MP4s, highlight them, screw the other files.
You could do that.
That's all I do. I don't need the other attachment files, and drop all of them into a folder.
Just grab the video files.
So I've got my video files.
So now you know where you're going to store them on your laptop.
Right.
Just copy them. Yep.
Okay. Now I need to get some type of program to
you need to do something with it so you can view them.
Cut out the shots I want to delete some stuff because
you can actually view any of them right there, Rob. Just right click it, open in QuickTime, open in a Real Player, whatever. It's an MP4. It'll play on pretty much anything.
Every system.
If you just want to watch your videos just like that to view, what did I get? Right click, open it in QuickTime, open it if you're using Mac, open it in Real Player if you're using Windows, or you can get either.
Or on the Mac, just hit the space bar.
That's what I do too. And then watch them right there.
Okay,
and then,
but here's my thing. I got 4 hours of video, and the first 30 minutes is in this Great Canyon. I want to take 5 minutes of that, and then 2 hours later, I'm in looking over a lake. I want to take 5 minutes of that. So I want to pull out bits and pieces of that 4 hours of video. How do I do that?
I'm going to give you my suggestion, and then I'm going to let Russell go on what he wants. So here's what I'll tell you. If you're not a huge video editor and you're not doing the kinds of things that I'm doing,
right? I'm not going to be.
Use the free GoPro software. It's free. It will work wonderful. Download it, and you can cut and paste and do whatever you want and make your little video. GoPro is actually coming out. I've been reading some blogs. GoPro is trying to get into the overall video editing space, and they're trying to make something similar to Final Cut Pro 10. And that will probably be coming out. But aside from that, it's a simple to use. It's free. You know it's going to work with GoPro. You'll get your video, do your little cuts, cut out what you want, bam, you're up and running.
And it's a short learning curve.
Now, you've
used Windows Movie Maker. GoPro will be simple for you.
It will.
So you talked earlier about syncing two cameras by sound. Will GoPro do that?
I don't know.
No.
I doubt they're multi-cam.
It doesn't do time sync.
I mean, I'm probably not going to have two cams, but I'm just curious.
But you would still be able to get video from two cams. You just would. You would have to manually
line them up.
You'd have to manually.
I'd say, okay, there's that white car I passed on this one. Here's the white car I passed on this one. Now
it's not going to do it by voice. You're just going to have to manually.
You're just manually doing it all the way. You won't be able to simply just drop markers. You're going to have to edit those clips down to that fine point, which you can do in the GoPro app.
Yep.
And then you're going to clip them, and then you're going to put them together in the next section.
Yep. So GoPro.
The chances of me running multiple cameras is slim to none.
Right. Is it?
Yeah, right. For most people, it is.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's pretty much going to be one cam.
They want it for their personal use, right? And they're not making YouTube videos like me to captivate people. They're just like, I just want a memory of it.
Yeah, memory, and then I'm going to post it on YouTube, and the family can go to that YouTube page, see it, and
yes,
good enough.
Exactly.
Yep.
The next software I would say, if you're going to step up your game a little bit, would if you're running Mac is, and I always suggest run Mac. I hate PCs. We're not going to get into that.
No,
Me and Russell hate PCs. Well, all of us, anybody that's serious about video editing, for the most part, is running Macs for a reason.
Yeah.
But it is not Final Cut. What's the basic standard?
iMovie. iMovie
comes
good.
free on all Macs, just like Windows Media Player comes free. Right? What's it called? Windows
Movie Maker.
Movie Maker.
Maker.
So.
That comes free. It's basically the equivalent. There's some like vloggers on YouTube that have advanced advanced past iMovie, and they've got millions of subscribers.
iMovie is a good tool.
It depends on what you're doing. iMovie is wonderful, and it's super easy to learn.
I still use it.
Do you? Okay. Yeah, it is. It's great.
Quick. It's quick. When I just need something quick and simple done, that's what I go to.
That's great. Yeah, and it is. It's solid. And if you're running PC, use Windows Movie Maker. Very simple. They're free. And then if you're going to get more advanced, but this is like really advanced.
We can touch it, but yeah.
Yeah, is Final Cut Pro 10. That's what I use exclusively here. I've dabbled with Adobe Premiere, and it's a lot of people use that. Adobe Premiere would be my next one. Both of them side by side. You use Adobe. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful program. Super expensive. Final Cut Pro is $199 and you own it for life. Adobe Premiere is $600 a year.
Now a subscription.
Yeah. So, decide what you want on that, but those are very advanced, and we're not even going to get into that for doing massively
that's
advanced.
Beyond what everybody here wants to hear about.
Yeah, exactly. So those are that. So get it in those programs. Do what you want to share your movie. That would be my suggestion, because you're talking about very large files that are hard to email.
I don't know if you can do any sharing out of the GoPro application, but like iMovie you can.
Right. Yes, you share out of there.
You can share to your YouTube channel.
Yep.
And you can make stuff private on your YouTube.
Yes.
So like if I have a video of me and the wife at the beach, and I just want family to see it, or just one or two people to see it, I have to give them access. But if I have a photo of me riding my motorcycle and anybody can see it, I don't care.
You can make that video public.
Okay, so you can individually make your videos public.
Yes.
Private. I haven't messed with YouTube other than watching stuff, obviously.
Just understand this. This is the caveat I will give to that, so you understand. So you can make your video completely public, like Law Abiding Biker Media. I also have many private videos for training purposes within Lab Media, but I need them to see the video. However, the caveat I will give is if you make it unlisted is what it's called.
Right.
Private, unlisted, or public. If you make it private, ain't nobody but you can view it, period.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
If you make it unlisted, anybody you give that link to can view it. But if you share that link, they can too. They might share it
too.
So you have to understand, you wouldn't want to put your bedroom videos on there, because it's still, if somebody said, "Oh, that's interesting, I'm going to share that link with this person," there, anybody who has that link, but it's not going to go out public. You would have to email somebody that link. It cannot be
Google search.
It cannot be Google search. It's not. Yeah, the bots.
But if anybody has that link,
done.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a good way, as long as it was something. Whatever.
But if you got nothing to be embarrassed about,
yeah, I mean, it's just,
and you do want to just share it with certain people, then that's the way to do it.
Family vacation, I'm probably not going to open up to the world, but riding my motorcycle, I don't care who watches it.
Yeah.
I put all my family videos up on YouTube, but they're all private, because only me and my family, and we can watch them because I can log into my account.
Because you can log into your account.
Right.
But unlisted, like training videos for Lurch or Rick or anybody, I do unlisted, and I just send them a link. I don't really care if anybody else gets it, because you just learn how to use software. Whatever.
It's okay.
So that and then of course, from any of those programs, for the most part, you can, if you're old school and you want to I hate DVDs, like I hate CDs too. They're old technology, but if you want to do that, you certainly could burn them, standard. There's functions within those programs to burn to DVDs. You could also save them to a memory stick if you have a large enough memory stick. You could do that. My suggestion is, if you're going to do that, is upload them to YouTube. You also need great bandwidth. You'll need, depending on the file size.
It might take a while.
It will we may not do it at all. It will hang. You have to have good internet, good speeds.
Constantly has to be there.
Yes. Even me, I have the fastest of the fast, and mine hang and hiccup sometimes, and I have to re-upload them and start over.
One other quick question is, YouTube, since I've never really uploaded anything, is there a limit to what you can upload? You have to pay after a certain point or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. No, I can.
They say over 500 hours of videos, like 500 hours of video, like every several minutes are uploaded to YouTube. That's how big their servers are. It's insane. Crazy. It's blowing up.
It used to be though. I had 15-minute caps, and then it was 20. I've got unlimited now. I can put any length on there.
I think here you go. That's a good point. On YouTube, if you don't have a verified account, so the regular guy that just signs up for YouTube under his Google account, you can only upload up to 15-minute videos. You have to become verified, and it's not hard to become verified. I just did it for my daughter because she has a YouTube channel.
It's not.
You just have to go through and verify some email addresses. Once you verify and they know that you're a legit person, then you can upload unlimited videos.
Okay.
For as long as you want unlimited length.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just called verified.
Mm-hmm.
It walks you right through it. You just have to give a phone number, so that they can verify that this is not a robot signing up for another damn YouTube account. So, if you become verified, you can do lengths longer than 15. Yes. Good call. Yeah. Good call. I'm trying to think. Memory stick. Yeah. If it's your account, the nice thing is if it's your YouTube account, you can upload the videos. It very nicely and beautifully compresses them. You can take like an 8 gigabyte video file, upload it to YouTube, and it'll come back as like a megabyte.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Like 250 megabyte video. And it looks the same because it compresses it. And they have this,
somehow they've got an engine that works it really good.
The beautiful thing is then you can take, so that would be my suggestion.
Then download it back.
That's what I do. If it's your account and you sign in, you can go to that video and you can hit download. You can download that beautifully compressed, perfect file. And then it's almost email. You can email the whole video file because it's so small and things like that. So they compress it beautifully.
But you can also then, in a lot of TVs now, you can put it on a thumb drive and just plug it in, the USB port on your TV and watch the video.
And then
and that's what I was going to get to, is how you watch it on your TV.
Yeah, good. Go for it.
That's what it was.
Sorry. I thought you had
take
more.
That downloaded file because that's an MP4. And that's what most of the TVs, the H264 is what it is. And that's what most of the TVs can play back. So you download it. I mean, it's either that or you're going to have to get it to come out of your editor in the right format for your TV. And there is some variances between TVs, but for the most part, the Google or the YouTube converted video file will play on almost every TV, I think. So you download that back to your computer, put it copy it over to a thumb drive, and then go plug it in your TV and watch it.
Good call. Okay. And that's a little trick I learned over time is I use the heck out of YouTube to compress my videos because I back up everything and it's beautiful. I'll upload it to YouTube. Once it compresses it, does its thing, I download it.
How long does that take?
Oh, gosh.
Depends on the length, but if you're doing a 20-minute video, I'd say within a half hour or so it's ready.
They've got it compressed. Okay.
Yep. And then I can back them up and they take up like no size at all.
Now I'm talking about
crazy.
After it's totally, completely uploaded.
Then it takes about 30 minutes for their servers to process. You'll see once you upload a video, it'll say processing. Yeah. Depending on the length. What it means
is you'll get an email when it's ready.
Yes. You'll get an email when it's ready and a play button. And then okay, it's compressed. It's good to go. And then you can decide on how you want to distribute that from there. So, I'm not going to talk about it. There's tons of others besides YouTube, Vimeo, and different things. But that would be for basic to keep it simple for bikers. That's how simple it is.
It is.
Grab all those programs. We'll upload.
Here's a suggestion.
Direct to YouTube.
Use YouTube, not Facebook.
Yes. Yes. Good call.
Facebook will ruin your video.
Yep. It really can. They're working on it, but it's not comparable to YouTube right now at all as far as video quality.
Now you can upload it there to share, but just do the YouTube link.
Yes.
That's the best thing to do.
Yep. Correct. Definitely. What else, Rob? What other questions do you have?
I want to go buy a GoPro.
There you go.
You're going to use the lawbuddybiker.com/Amazon or /B&H?
B&H with the kit.
Oh, you're going to get the kit. Sweet.
The session kit, I think.
Awesome. Now, that's awesome, man. Oh, let me bring that back up. So we're going to wind this down because, man, I knew this episode. See what I mean?
Yeah.
When we were going to do one episode,
I was like, no.
Ain't going to happen.
Talked about it. I was like, no way.
I'm not going to get deep in this. I'll give you my opinion really quick, and then Russell can give his. I had the test 10 best GoPro and action cameras 2016. I just want you guys to understand we're just talking about GoPro because that's what I'm most familiar with.
That's all I'm familiar with.
And I've dabbled with a few others, and I have some acquaintances that I've talked to that have used a few others. I've seen a few others at work. I will just tell you that GoPro is not the best. I'm just going to throw that out there. GoPro is awesome. The reason GoPro is so popular is because they had wonderful, and they do have wonderful marketers. GoPro was built around a community, and it is a strong camera, and it's awesome. And I would never talk bad about it as far as not getting it. It's comparable to so many others on the market now. GoPro was really marketed right, and you can see it. You can see it in their sponsors. You can see it. They do a wonderful job at promoting themselves, and it was one of the first. There's many that are trying to compete with it and doing a lot of things better than GoPro. Recent problems with GoPros, and I did a video on it. I won't even get into that, but it was having problems, and it's a very popular video. I put it out because I was kind of upset, and that was their Wi-Fi when it was on. Trying to use the remote, and it was on actual Wi-Fi. It's when you're trying to hook a mic into it, it's giving a helicopter thumping sound.
I remember that.
And it's out, and that video is like one of the top ones for that issue. And GoPro is not addressing it, and they're kind of hiding behind it. And I went through 3 GoPros trying to get one that worked, and people comment daily on that video about how pissed they are at GoPro, and they've never publicly admitted it, but they are having those issues. That's as far as I'm going to go into that. Doesn't mean GoPro's bad. Most people would never even know it was thumping because they don't use the audio. They really don't care.
I never came across it.
I need the audio for vlogging. I need it to be, I can't have thumping in it. So that's how I recognize the problem. There are a lot of other cameras on the market. I'm kind of stuck with GoPro right now because I have much money invested in all their proprietary mounting system. And that's the problem. You get kits and kits of mounting stuff, but there are a lot of other things on the market there. And if they say they're doing 60 frames per second and 1080p, you're probably going to get just as good a quality out of those as you're going to get out of a GoPro. Just be aware of the limitations on mounting solutions because a lot of these cameras have not caught up, and they don't have all the array of mounting solutions that GoPro has. We don't have mounting solutions in the Law Abiding Biker store for other action cams, but that's what I'll tell you. You don't have to buy GoPro. I'm just most familiar with it. That's why we talked about it here. I'm very happy with it for the most part. But if I didn't have all the money invested, it's kind of like getting a Canon camera. Oh, you're stuck with Canon glass.
Once you get that glass,
you're done.
Yeah.
And that's the way GoPro is. And that's not a bad thing. And Canon's wonderful. I love Canon, but you are stuck. Glass is lenses. We're talking about. You're stuck with Canon lenses.
I picked up what you're putting
down.
All
right, sweet. And it's proprietary, and I get it. So, with that said, what do you have to say about that, Russell? Anything on? Do you believe that?
No, the
technology's there.
The competition is good.
Yeah,
and no, but I've just got so many of them. I just dived in at the beginning.
Me too.
And they work.
They do. They work. And they're hardy.
Oh,
and they're strong.
Oh man, I don't know how many cages when I mount those cameras down low on my bike and I hit those corners, I have scraped them.
Yeah.
And they still work.
I've dropped the piss out of mine. They're very hardy. I'm not going to go. I thought we were going to have time in this episode to go over some competition. I'm actually going to put a link in the show notes, lawabidingbiker.com/ and whatever show notes it says, it's a techradar.com. I thought it was a very good. I looked at several articles. Very good article on the 10 best action cameras. Of course, GoPro's in there, and TomTom, and a whole bunch of others. And I thought it was really cool to look at some of the technology that's coming out. And GoPro is working very hard to beat and stay ahead of this competition, including their new software suite. I shouldn't say it's a suite, but their new software that
I'm gonna have to see what
they want to mirror. They want to at least be in the game with Final Cut Pro 10, which makes sense. They realize what I was reading is they realize that they need to diversify. They have lost a huge market share because all these other companies can match them. Everybody's like, I can match your camera. Oh, yeah. It's nothing special. I can match it.
It isn't.
So they realize they need to get into other avenues like software, editing software. And that's just what I read. Very, very
to make
interesting.
A complete package, right?
Correct. Yes, exactly. So, so that's where it is, what I say, Russell too, there's other competitors out there and look at them all. But that's the information that I know about a GoPro. I haven't tested a whole bunch of the others.
No, there's the Sony.
Yes.
Looks like a bullet somewhere.
Yes, kind of like the Tom.
Kind of like that. Bullet. That thing looks like air. Yeah. I know Garmin's getting into it.
Garmin's in here too.
Are they? There they are.
Yep.
I don't know what some of these others you're scrolling by, but there's
Movie.
There's many companies jumping in.
The Garmin Verb, that's hugely popular.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's in trucking too.
Is it? Okay. Mm-hmm. What are you guys using for trucking most? Just because to catch?
There's guys buying dash cams. There's different things. I haven't gotten into it. I use my GoPros on the front windshield, but I know Garmin's getting into it because I've got a Garmin GPS, and it's specified for trucks, and you can get cameras, the Garmin cameras that will work through the screen on your GPS.
Okay.
And for like behind the cab, backing up, whatever you want to mount those things, and it works.
Yeah, right. Nice.
I've thought about even trying to experiment with that, but
that's cool.
I haven't. But that's Garmin getting into it. And so I'm sure they're getting into all this too. Yep. Action cams.
It's a huge industry. Sony right there.
There's the 4K.
Sony, yeah. And the thing that the reason quickly, and we're going to wind this down, Rob, I know it's getting late, and Russell, I appreciate you guys sticking this out with me because this is always how it ends up, is a lot of these are waterproof as they stand. And that's why GoPro came out with a session because they're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of these companies that don't need cases and they're already waterproof and they do everything our camera does. So that's why you're seeing the competition.
And it's great.
Yeah, it is. And so look around at those. Look around. I can't give you a lot of information on all these different cameras, but I will, like I say, put this particular article because I thought it was one of the better fair ones. Not trying to sell you a particular brand that I'll put in the show notes. Wow. Quite an episode, guys. What else?
We covered some stuff.
Rob, do you have anything else to ask?
No, I think it was as thorough as I could have asked for.
Wow. Good deal, guys. What do you say we take it on out of here then?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot up here, Russell.
It is.
So Russell got to experience 2 podcasts, how we do it here. This is how we do it. We batch cool. We'll spend like 5-6 hours between podcast and eating just to batch process.
We've been doing this all evening.
Yeah, because, with our regular paying jobs, when we get together, we actually have to try to just pump it out. And by the last, not going to lie to you, by the end of the last one, you're like, okay, yeah, that was good. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go get some fresh air. It's hot up here.
It is.
The Law Abiding Biker studio is very hot. We're looking at some way to cool it a little more because it's a bonus room. It's above the rest of the house and it's about 10 degrees hotter than the rest of the house. And we're kind of like in a sweatshop up here, so to speak. And I'm not glad you got to experience, but at least
I'm glad to be here.
You can testify to the audience that we work in a sweatshop up here.
Oh yeah,
when we're podcasting.
It is.
And we got the window open because it's evening and at least a little cool breeze is coming in. But yeah, and I've been saying that for 3 years on this podcast, and I'm just it's hard to try to. And I'm having them bid it out for a ductless AC unit up here, Rob. Maybe someday
we'll
actually see it. Maybe someday I'll quit talking about it. Depending on this bid,
make it happen.
That could end real quick when I see the bid.
Oh yeah, it could. It might be. Well, no.
Oh, no doubt, guys. Don't forget to call the Lab hotline phone number. And Russell, why don't you give this out?
That's 509-731-3548.
Or leave an internet voicemail from anywhere in the world for free, right from the microphone built into your computer at lawabidingbiker.com/voicemail. That's right, guys. Don't forget any way you want to contact us, whether we have a contact form, the voicemail over there, the phone number, lawabidingbiker.com/contact, guys. We appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate our patrons. Thanks, Russell, for hanging with 2 episodes.
It was fun.
And we know people support us through Patron. They support us through donations, and we, of course, appreciate that. Some people can't right now financially support us, and we get that. But don't forget, there is a free way you can support us. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/iTunes or /Stitcher Radio, or if you're listening to us on Google Play Music, any of those platforms have a way to rate us. Give us a 5-star and a positive comment. We appreciate it. Peace out.